Today we have the Mitsubishi Montero Sport, which is a very simple car, but at the same time very capable. This is based off of the Mitsubishi Pajero, which we all know and love, or at least we're familiar with. So it shares a lot of aspects from the Pajero in terms of mechanical bits, technicalities and whatnot, and even some bits of the interior. The Pajero is usually a 5-seater, or it has a version of it which is a 2-door version. This one, however, is longer and more spacious. You can actually fit 7 people in it, because in the back you have a much bigger capacity in the trunk that also includes 2 seats. We can start immediately with the technical aspects. So the Montero comes with a bunch of options. You could either opt for a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive version. This one is the 4-wheel drive version. Both options come with either a 4-cylinder 2.4-liter engine, if I'm not mistaken, and this, the most popular option, which is a V6, that is 3 liters. It's not turbocharged, not supercharged, it's a naturally aspirated engine, and that produces 214 horsepower and about 430 Newton meters of torque. Now from that you would notice that it has quite low horsepower compared to its output, but the torque is immense, which is, in my opinion, suits the purpose of what the Montero aims to achieve. Because it is a family SUV, it is a multi-purpose family SUV, and the reason why I say that is because you can actually tow with it and you can go to the desert and off-road quite a bit without having to worry at all. Now all that power goes to the wheels through a complex system of gearing. So obviously we start with the transmission, which is an 8-speed automatic, which you can also switch into manual mode through these pedal shifters over here, or you can do it with the shifter right here. And of course the power travels to selected wheels based on what you choose from the Mitsubishi's Super Select 4-wheel drive system. Now this is the second iteration, or the second version of it. It's an improved version of the Super Select 4-wheel drive system that Mitsubishi was very known for back in the 90s and early 2000s. Now of course you can activate the Super Select 4-wheel drive system from the rotary dial over here that's in the middle of the center console. You can opt to go between 2-wheel drive high or 4-wheel high, that's for higher speeds. And then you would go into 4-wheel high LC, which stands for 4-wheel high locked center. That obviously locks the center differential or the transfer case, if I have to be more accurate over here. And then finally you have the 4LLC, which is 4-wheel low with locked central as well. Once you switch into locked center, you can actually choose the type of terrain that you can drive on. Obviously it's not there on the screen, since the screen is a little bit outdated, but you do have a different way of doing it. So right above this rotary dial you have 2 buttons. One of them is for the hill descent and the other one is to change between the modes. Now we have 4 different modes. You have gravel, mud and snow, sand, and the 4th one is only available in the last option, which is 4-wheel low. That one is for rock terrain. And that's not the end of it, because you also have another button over here that allows you to lock the rear differential or unlock it. Now in terms of the exterior design, I don't think it's the best looking, but at the same time I still think it is better looking than the Pajero that we got used to. However, you can be the judge of that in the comments. All trim levels come with the 18-inch wheels, and they come with the same tire size, which is 65/60 R18, which is a good all-rounder tire size for city usage and as well off-roading whenever you need it. Now in terms of the interior itself, it is a tiny bit outdated because this is more or less a almost 10-year-old design, or a 10-year-old car. The seats are acceptable. I mean, they are basic, but they are more or less comfortable as well. I don't think you get an option for leather seats. This is the best you can get. And the seats in the back are quite spacious as well. Not to mention the final row of seats, the 3rd row of seats, that also has more or less a good amount of space compared to other 7-seater cars. You get 2 screens in front of me over here. So I have one in the cluster, in the gauge cluster, which is fully digital, which you can change into different types of designs. You can have the RPM in the middle, or you can have the speed. It's very basic, but it shows you all that you need when you're driving. While the screen in the middle over here doesn't do much, to be honest. I mean, you can connect to Bluetooth. There is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It does show you a bunch of information about your car and the multimedia and obviously the radio. But it also has a nice feature, which if you look down over here, you have an HDMI port. Now this is not an output HDMI, this is an input HDMI port, which means you can connect anything that has a screen and HDMI, you can connect it into that, and this screen will mirror whatever device you have. So be it an iPad or a camera or whatever. Now I doubt that the screen is going to be interactive in the HDMI mode, but you have it there. Under the screen we find all the AC controls, which are actual buttons, which is something that I really miss, and I think that the automotive industry has swayed into the wrong direction of putting all of these AC controls into the screens. This is something we always complain about on the channel. So it's very nice and refreshing to see a set of buttons to control the AC while you're driving. And finally, we talk about the way the car drives. It is comfortable to drive and it is stable on the road. Because of the suspension. It's been tuned in a way that it doesn't compromise the comfort. You have buttons over here on the steering wheel that allow you to control a bunch of things. Obviously the multimedia on both sides over here, and also the cruise control. Now this brings me to my final point. The engine, we said, has less horsepower than it has torque, which you can really feel on the highway. Now, if you are in normal traffic, in city traffic, you won't feel it that much because the torque compensates for it. But on the highway, if you want to overtake somebody, you can really feel that the car can be underpowered. But overall, I still think this is a decent package for a big family that likes to go off-roading every now and then. This is a pretty good package for a car that is a little bit over 100,000 dirhams. But as always, we want to know your opinions, so let us know down in the comments what do you think of the car overall, if you had any experiences with it before, and things that you think are good insights for other buyers. Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.